In the next video, we will be looking at functions, shifting of graphs of functions. Okay, so we have covered this concept briefly in one of the previous videos while doing a question. Just to elaborate on that, so if for any function fx, some basic rules. Number one, if I want to find the graph of fx plus 1, means you are adding the 1 to the y itself, the graph is just going to shift up by 1 unit like this. Okay, it will shift up by 1 unit, and if I obviously do minus 1, it's going to shift down by 1 unit. Okay, the other one is if I add 1 to the x. So if I want to find the graph of f of x plus 1, okay, the x is added, increased by 1, the graph actually does not go to the right, it actually goes left. So the graph will shift left and it will move like this kind of. So this is the graph of f of x plus 1. Let's write it this side. So f of x minus 1 would have made it move right. Okay, that's the first. Next, so if this is fx, and let's look at multipliers. Okay, so if I want to find the graph of 2 times fx, so that means I am multiplying every y value by 2. So these y values will become more negative. This y value is 0, will remain there. This will come positive, this will become more positive. So the graph will go like this. That is 2 times fx. But if I, let's say, multiply the 2 with the x instead. So I want to find, let's say, f of 2x. The x values actually don't get multiplied by 2, they become half because the 2 is already multiplied. So we need to actually reduce the x to half the time to cancel that effect out. Okay, so this x value is here, it will come halfway, this is at 0, will remain, it will come here, this will come here. This will be the graph of f of 2x, which basically the x values become half of what they are. Okay, the last modification of graphs. So if I have a function like this and I want to draw the function of mod of fx, okay. So mod of fx means the y values are getting the y values, we are taking the mod of our y values. So the positive will remain as it is, the negative part will just reflect up. This will become the graph of mod of fx. However, if I want to draw the graph of f of mod x, now what is going to happen is, irrespective of what I plug in for x, 1, we are going to get f1, but if I plug in f of minus 1, I am still going to get f1. So what is going to happen is, see, x as 1, if it was here, this was the y value, so this part does not change, but the moment it reaches here, it reflects and forms this. This is the graph of f of mod x. Why? Because this now becomes an even function. When x is 1, I was getting this, initially x as 1 was giving me something like this, but if x as minus 1 was giving something like this, but if I put minus 1, I am going to get back f of 1 again. So I am going to get a reflection on this side. The negative part of the graph will, the blue part of the graph which is on the negative side of x, negative side of the y side, that's gone, and this side just gets reflected on that side. So f of mod x is that one. So just to write that, this is f of mod x, and this red one is mod of fx. So please remember the basic changes that happen in graphs. Okay, thanks for watching.